I'm going to have to enhance the bidding in post-production. But anyway, howdy, new senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. I have the window open. I have the fan on. That's why it is loud. It is warm, hokey smokes. Yesterday, when I walked to the hospital, it was cold enough outside that people were wearing coats, hats, such like that as they were traveling. Me, I was wearing something like this. I just had on an undershirt, an overshirt, my backpack, and I walked with an umbrella, and I was still almost too warm. Everyone else, puffy coats and hats and gloves, and I'm too warm wearing this. So thumbs up, but I'll tell the story of what happened in the hospital in just a moment. Clarifications of my update yesterday. First off, though, of course, hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. I can't put them all up on the screen as I usually do, but here are another 4 people off my Patreon list that help to keep me alive. And that is very, very appreciated. If you would like to become a patron and help to keep me and my aging pet metabolizing, I have links in the video description along with a PayPal for possible donations and an Amazon wish list thing that I still desperately have to update. So here's hoping I can get done with that. Thumbs up. Now I'm leaning into something, so hopefully YouTube isn't going to demonetize me for this. But I mentioned the other day while I was wearing my semi-form fitting orange t-shirt that I don't have a form that I think really needs to be fitted to, but at the time I also bragged about having the best pair of old man titties in Chilton, Washington. Well, and as I also said, you know, if you got them, flaunt them. And oh, I got them. Anyway, though, on to everything else. I'm going to talk about some stuff that I got on my list, which isn't a lot, and then just going to talk about everything that I can. First off, yeah, yesterday, oh boy, because I did my vlogging, and then as time went by while I was watching videos, I was talking with people online and on Twitter, and this one person had said, when I said, I'm going to go off tomorrow if my leg's not better, they said, at your age, with the way things are going, your system is here, and your heart doesn't need the stress. You need to go. And so I looked at my leg and went, yeah, it's not getting better. I'm going to go. First, I had to eat. So, because I hadn't eaten anything, I ate. Afterward, I took a shower. And then I walked to the hospital. So I was already tuckered out. But I got there, and it was, I don't know, between 2 and 3-ish, maybe? I can't remember exactly the time, but things went pretty quick. I got in, was registered, sat, didn't fall asleep because I was reading my Sacrifice RPG book, was admitted, they checked my vitals, found out what was going on, and then I went out and waited a bit more. Then they dragged me back into the ER section with a bed and all, and then I had to put on a gown. Oh my stuff here is pretty dirty. I don't know what I dropped. But, and then I put on the gown, my legs were exposed. That's when the doctor came in and started talking about things, where my leg is just not going to get better as long as I have the swelling in my leg there, because it's not going to be able to have things percolating through well enough. With all of that just, you know, everything staying there, it's bad with swelling. So, she's putting forth recommendations. I forgot to bring the phone up here, so I'm going to have to grab that, and hopefully nobody's called me. But they're supposed to be calling me about at least 2 things, so I need to have the phone ready and available for that. So, after I got the infusion, which had the infiltration, where I had the golf ball-sized lump of antibiotic in the interstitial tissues here, that went away quickly, didn't even hurt. There's just a slight bruise, and that's probably from where the needle went in. And then when they swapped it over here, it was fine. That was my very, very first infiltration, and I don't blame the nurse in the slightest. When she put that thing in there, she drew like 6 vials of blood. And every time you do anything with a line that goes into somebody's body, you flush that line. You have a syringe of sterile saline you always flush the line. You make sure that's clean with no clots and you can get in and out of there. So she flushed it and it was fine. So why it failed when the IV started, don't know. But at least I caught it fast and she was in. So we put it in here and then it went fine. It was about 7 o'clock when I got home last night. And that's why I was exhausted. I had done nothing all day except prepare to go to the hospital and then go to the hospital and then come back from the hospital. Oy vey. Yes, I was exhausted. I don't know what's going to happen. But I mean, it's good news and it's bad news. It's good news because this morning, my leg looks a hell of a lot better. Because that local swelling had been coming back. The generalized swelling, soft and squishy, and I can whack my fingers into it hard, and it's just tissue. The area that's the local swelling where the infection was kind of feels like styrofoam. You can squish it, but there's resistance, and just to touch, it hurt. This morning, no local swelling. General swelling, yes, but that's because my lymph system and my lower legs got burnt out. Your lymph system does two things. You have lymph nodes, where like your white blood cells and your killer T cells reside, and then you have your lymph system, which transports those, but it also helps to transport fluid through your system. When I, 20 years ago, had a very bad case of cellulitis, I mean, it was burning out my lymph system as it was. Slowly but surely, and I've mentioned this before, but it literally looked like somebody had taken 2 hot clothing irons, put them on major, and then just seared the insides of my inner thighs in like an iron shape. They were black on my inner thighs because of what was going on with the infection in my lymph nodes. And from then on, my legs have swollen up into meat pumpkins. After 20 years, this leg is doing really, really good. This leg was doing not as good, but good. Now it's not doing good anymore. This has burnt out the lymph system and from my knee to my toes again. So we're going to try and get me to a doctor so I can deal with the swelling and such and maybe get that down somehow, because otherwise this is just going to keep happening. And yeah, I forgot to look up on Google C. diff. I'll do that right now because C. diff, I used to work in healthcare. I know the results of C. diff and that it's bad. I cannot give you the actual dictionary definition, so I'm looking that up right now. It's it's just a bacterium causes an infection of the large intestines, and when that happens, that's not good. That's not good. Your internal bugs are out of balance, and you're going to have all sorts of bowel problems. Not good. Not good at all. So, yeah, you don't want to have C. diff. And if I keep taking antibiotics like this, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So I'm feeling a little bit better today, but even though last week I had a few days where I had more energy than I knew what to do with, I'm dragging again until this really gets more cleared up. Now, here's the bad part, checking my time. I have been surviving, but all of this has been taking a toll monetarily. I'm supposed to pick up my antibiotics today, my doxycycline. I don't have enough money for that and to buy food for the rest of the month. People have helped me out. RJ Mitchell sent me money earlier in the month, and if it hadn't been for that, I would have been hosed like this earlier. So thank you, RJ. It is appreciated. But if I go pick up my antibiotics today, which I kind of have to because if you can help, that would be nice. If you can't, don't feel bad. Life is life. But if you can, it would be nice. But don't feel bad. And no joke, seriously. Survival is important. Take care of yourself. Now, for the rest of my list here, what do we have? This is a whole bunch of minor stuff. I actually finally figured out how to use the sound system that I used on my laptop so that my desktop, so that my laptop is now able to use that sound. If I can find another Y cable and another connector cable with the small RCA plugs on them, then hopefully maybe I could add my sound, my PlayStation 4 to the sound system, but I don't know and I doubt it, so we'll see. And then past that, this is the thing. At first, I did not understand, and now I do. I first heard that Wotc/Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, the Dungeons and Dragons people, they were removing the half races from Dungeons and Dragons because of racism. And I didn't fully understand. I had only been hearing the reactionary rights part of it. And so, now that I got a fuller understanding of what's going on, I am fully behind it. They are pulling all the half races out that they had before, because every half race, half orc, half elf, half halfling, half whatever, was always human and them. No mixing of other races, just human and everyone else. If there was a mixed race character, it was human and somebody else. Yeah, that's like white being the default. That makes human being the default. So yeah, they're taking that out. They're not taking out mixed races. In fact, while they don't have hard and fast rules for it, they are keeping half races in the game. It's just that they've removed the every half race is half human. When you make up a character, sure, make them half halfling and half elf. Make them a half orc and a half elf. Mix the races that way. Take a look at the characteristics of both races, and then squidge them together. If you've got an orc and an elf, and you're a half orc elf, well, you might have green skin, but that might be the only outward manifestation aside from being maybe a little bit bulkier. You're a bulky green half elf, half orc. Yeah, I'm fully behind what they're doing on this one. I think they got it right. Now, somebody was watching one of the reactionary right people on it, and I hate the reactionary right. I can barely watch them, so I'm glad that there are people that do. Because this person, their argument against all this was, it's racism. Oh, racism. It's so bad. That was their argument. And just laughing, showing things and just laughing. Like, they were pissed off, and they were using as an example of Wizards of the Coast, they were talking about race swapping with things like Lord of the Rings. They showed a picture with a black Aragorn and a white elf. I think that's freaking awesome. Race swapping, gender swapping has been used by human beings in media for thousands of years. This isn't new. We make things new for each generation by changing things, or those things become dead. You have to make media relevant for a current generation. These people love comic books and they hate race and gender swapping. Even in the Thor comic book, Thor has been a woman Thor many times, and not even just a woman, has been a frog, has been an alien. They don't just gender and race swap, they species swap in comic books and other media. And is that bad? No, you have to reinterpret media for each generation. I think a black Aragorn is freaking awesome. Good golly, Miss Molly, I would watch a Lord of the Rings that was just all-female cast with lesbian relationships. That would be freaking awesome. As a real quick aside, I have reached the point in my development that when I watch media or such that I see male-female coupling, whether it's just for actual just coupling or if it's romantic relationships, I am like neutral or it's been done. Whereas when I see like a same-sex couple or a mixed couple, asexual, aromantic, that sort of thing with somebody that's out of the norm, that does the trick for me, because I like to see people happy, and heteronormativity is the default. So when I see people that are out of that default being happy, hell yeah. Now, let me see what else I have. Oh yes, I just wanted to do some clarification, checking my time, on the whole Razor's Edge and the Kaiju and stuff. Because of the energy that's in the inside and our universe on the outside, with these energies that flow between that rejuvenate and keep both of them going, most universes, to use the correct term, but most universes from a cosmic horror viewpoint, they are born beat, they have grown to near maturity, beat, they're mature, beat, withering, beat, they're dead. They grow and die that fast from the viewpoint of the cosmic horrors when they are outside of the universe. Because if you're outside of the you're not connected to their time sense. And so you can have a second pass in a second, or a couple trillion years pass in that same time. You're not connected to their time sense. But the universe that I write in, with the inside, outside, and razor's edge, it has been ticking along. It's in a count, beat, in the 40 millions by the time I write about it, and it's just starting. That energy that flows rejuvenates both sides. Now, when I say rejuvenates both sides, I mean literally. Inside the universe of the inside, because of that flowing energy, there is a constant creation of gases throughout interstellar space. There is constant creation of dust. There is constant star formation, constant galaxy formation. As stars die, like in our universe, there are first generation stars. We can find a few of them that are just barely there. There are second generation stars, which are ours. There are no third generation stars. It is just cold and dark for the rest of our universe ahead of us. In this setting, no, stars are always forming. Galaxies are always forming. Galaxies that are already there are being rejuvenated by the formation of new stars. And some of these systems are centric, in that they're human-centric or whatever-centric race that happens to be there. When this happens, the energy that flows out gets stored within the star. It acts as a battery and a resistor. When the star becomes too old and decrepit, that resistance is falling. When it hits like the white dwarf stage in our life of our star, it is a big yellow giant now. It's not really yellow, it's white, but it's a giant, star. It's going to blow up into a red giant, then it's going to slowly shrink into a white dwarf. When it hits a certain point, no more resistance. All that energy in the battery arcs and discharges, and that destructive burst, the sun explodes and rejuvenates and becomes, well, it's just like a new star has flashed into existence from all of the gravity and gases and dust. New star, the shock wave and that energy destroys whatever is left, lays down a new accretion disk. New planets form. There is a Goldilocks zone. Within that Goldilocks zone, there will be a planet that is Earth-like, and that it can support life like we have now. There won't be like we have now, except we will evolve there. We will show up, so that in time, there will be a race of us that is genetically exact to as we are now and as they are on the inside. It takes 15 billion years for this to happen. Our star has been in existence this way for over 1 trillion years through this cycle. Because every 15 billion years it restarts, refreshed. On the razor's edge, when this happens, there is a 3 billion year cycle. As the energy flows through freely, there is 1 billion years of plenty. The second billion years, the doors start to close because life, human life outside is gone, and that energy is finally dissipated enough that the doors, where they shut. They need intelligence, and there is none. When that happens and the energy stops flowing, well, it's just a long, slow slide of want and need. The Kaiju needs to keep its belly full of human beings. By the time of the end of want, it has to be fat with how many people it has eaten. It has to be packed from the end of its digestive tract to even just in its throat, not even making it down into its stomach because it's so filled with human meat. And it can eat like 800 billion people in a day and still feel hungry. So it is packed, but it has to. because at the end of this time, it falls into torpor, and for the next 1 billion years, as the kaiju sleeps in torpor, and the razor's edge slowly dissipates into just that formless superposition gray, except for this one mountain with this one clearing with this one rock that looks like a giant Granny Smith apple. And that's the kaiju in torpor for 1 billion years. And when the energy starts to flow again, it awakens, waits for people to arrive, and then starts to feed, because it's usually cannibalizing itself by that time. And then it feeds, and it has another 2 billion years of direct consciousness to do what it wants. It has lived through over 300 billion years of these 3 billion year cycles. It is over 1 trillion years old. This universe is going to last for, well, take how long our universe will last and multiply that by a number that for us as human beings would sound like infinity. But for every quark in the universe, our universe, and subatomic particles are made out of quarks, and atoms are made out of subatomic particles, and molecules are made out of atoms, and organs are made out of molecules, and we're made out of organs. There are a lot of quarks in the universe. And this other universe will last at least 1 trillion years for every quark in ours. It's going to last a long time. And the kaiju is not going to let go. Reality tried to kill it. It's from another universe, another time. It should have burned to death. It did not. It is not going to let go and die until it is ready. And nobody anywhere knows that this thing is a dark and malevolent god of death and destruction. Luckily, chained and fallen. Even though it's 22 minutes, I gotta save this last one quick. So, in the setting, the cryptid world, in Brookerton, South Carolina, very few people, except for those with the sight who can see glamours indoors, know that 500 kilometers away from Brookerton, South Carolina, United States, Earth is a dark and malevolent, chained and fallen god of chaos and destruction that hates human beings with every single fiber of its being. It's only 500 kilometers away. Thumbs up for that. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. Gonna go through and thank however many people have left in comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, that's just for stimming purposes. I'm not really paying attention to my counting anymore. Take out my glasses so I can see. We have Nexar EH. Thumbs up, thank you very much. This is a new one. I have not been able to read that yet. I will read it, hopefully leave you a good comment. Thank you so much. It is good to see you in the comments. I'm so sorry anything bad has happened with you. I wish I had a magic button. I would press it for every person on there. Good to see you though. We have Clavicle Skeletoni. Thank you very, very much. It was greatly appreciated. Jesse Koskinen, greatly appreciated. Good to see you. It's real lit. Thumbs up. Thank you. And I love this whole creative setting I have. It is good. I mean, there are movies and TV series and books and comics and audio tapes and everything that could go on. All just what happens on the inside or on the razor's edge or in the cryptid world. Thumbs up. We have SIXSIS, the magic number. Thumbs up and thank you. JAYY, greatly appreciated. Oy vey, I am so tired of my leg, but I hope your allergy gets better soon. We have Drew, a whole bunch of O's. Thumbs up, thank you. Mr. X, greatly appreciated. There is Zach Morris 1, thumbs up, and I hope to do music reactions again here soon. I just need to heal. Chris, greatly appreciated. RJ Perales, thumbs up and thank you. Fish Sticks 95, greatly appreciated, doing my best. And Alan Hayes, thumbs up and thank you. Tinderella, thumbs up and thank you. Armadillo, greatly appreciated, doing my best. Darkness Dragon, here's hoping. And Donald Long, thumbs up and thank you. Pop Blast 2, thumbs up and thank you much. We have Badge. I'll have to check things out. Definitely. There's Reckham, greatly appreciated. Lucas Ludwig, thumbs up and thank you. Clancy Parr, greatly appreciated. Jeremy with a 0, JEREN 0Y, thumbs up and thank you much. Flora Mew, greatly appreciated. Always good to see you in the comments. HELIN00, thumbs up, thank you much. We have Nasim, I sure hope I got it correct. And Dom Gru, thumbs up and thank you. Name and Kyrillic, I think it's Alexi, I'm not sure. But thank you, thumbs up, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. Definitely a thumbs up. I'm going to be taking it easy as possible today. I'm keeping my leg up. I'm going to be doing as little as possible. I got to walk to the store today, like it or not, but it's going to be tonight. Oh, I mean, my leg is getting better, but I still feel drained. So I'm going to do my best, maybe be able to record something. Oh yeah, I got to walk to Walmart to get those antibiotics, so if anybody could help me out, that would be awesome, and thank you. I hope you can get done the things that you want to get done. If you can't, don't feel bad. Survival is important. Put on my glasses again. And once again, just before I go, I just want to talk really quick about the beautiful, wonderful, and awesome picture I have on my computer screen. It is a beautiful world where no one gets hurt, everyone is safe, and it is kind and gentle. And snakes have an endless supply of young women to swallow whole and digest alive. It is a beautiful, sweet, and awesome world. So, until we meet again, I would come up with some witty way to close this, but I just don't feel really witty yet. I got more energy than I had yesterday. I actually slept a little bit last night, so thumbs up on that. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, I do think that is a good idea, so, yeah.